Hi, welcome to your English class. In the previous class, we talked about the time and the importance of the schedules when you take a train. Today, we talk about a different element very important when you take a train, the ticket. So in this class, let's buy a train ticket. Here I have an example of a train ticket, and I have a lot of information in this ticket. Let's talk about it part by part. Tell me, is the train leaving from London? Yes, right? The train is leaving from London, or the train is departing from London. Is the train arriving in Oxford? Yes, right? The train is arriving in Oxford. What time is the train leaving? At 10:30. The train is leaving at 10:30. What time is the train arriving? The train is arriving at 12:35. So, what is the total duration? All right, the total duration is 2 hours and 5 minutes. It takes 2 hours and 5 minutes to arrive in Oxford. It takes 2 hours and 5 minutes to arrive in Oxford. That is the exact time, but we can make an approximation. It takes about 2 hours to arrive in Oxford. It takes about 2 hours to arrive in Oxford. About, approximately. All right. Now, let's look at the next part. Can I use the same ticket to return to London? Yes, right? Because this is a round-trip ticket. It's not a one-way ticket. It's a round-trip ticket. Now, let's talk about the price. How much is the round-trip ticket? All right, we have it here. Sorry. The round-trip ticket fare is 16 pounds. The round-trip ticket fare is 16 pounds. All right, we have a lot of information here. But look at the time. What time does the train depart from London? Sorry, from Oxford. At 6 p.m. What time does the train arrive in London? At 9 o'clock. So, how long does it take to arrive in London? How long does it take to arrive in London? It takes 3 hours, right? Is it the same time? No, right? Probably because the first one is an express train. This one is probably an express train. All right, we have something else in this ticket, more information. Look, what category is the ticket? This is a first class ticket. Exactly. Normally, the different classes that we have, depending on the service or the company, first class, premium, business class, coach, and economy. In some cases, only specific classes are available. In some cases, there are no options and there is only one class. Depends on the company, depends on the trip. Now, let's repeat the information about the ticket. It takes about 2 hours to arrive in Oxford. The round-trip ticket fare is 16 pounds. The train to Oxford is an express train. The ticket is a first-class ticket. All right, now try to repeat the information. Listen and repeat. It takes about 2 hours to arrive in Oxford. The round-trip ticket fare is 16 pounds. The train to Oxford is an express train. The ticket is a first-class ticket. All right, very good. Now listen to my questions. Try to answer. Does it take about 2 hours to arrive in Oxford? Yes, right? Yes, it does. Does it take about 5 hours to arrive in Oxford? No, right? No, it doesn't. How long does it take to arrive in Oxford? It takes about 2 hours to arrive in Oxford. Right. Let's go with the next part of the information. Is the round-trip ticket fare 16 pounds? Yes, right? Yes, it is. Is the round-trip ticket fare £5? No, no, it isn't. How much is the round-trip ticket to Oxford? The round-trip ticket fare is £16. All right, now tell me, what type of ticket is this? This is a first-class ticket. All right, now we have a lot of information here, and you can practice making questions. Let's use these different tickets to create some questions. For example, let's ask a question about duration, the time. Let's use this one. How long does it take to arrive in Oxford? How long does it take to arrive in Oxford? In this case, it takes about 2 hours to arrive in Oxford. Now, what about a question for the fare or the price? How much is the round-trip business ticket? How much is the round-trip business ticket? The round-trip business fare is £14. The round-trip business fare is £14. And finally, what about this ticket? Is this a round trip or one-way ticket? Is this a round trip or one-way ticket? It is a one-way ticket, exactly. Final question. What time does the train departure? What time does the train leave from London? What time does the train leave from London? The train. What time does the train leave from London? What time does the train leave from London? The train leaves from London at 10:30. The train leaves from London at 10:30. All right, very good. Let's continue practicing. Now let's include listening practice. Check. I have 2 questions. Let's read together. Where would the passenger like to go? We need a destination, a city. What time would the passenger like to leave? Pay attention to the time. Listen to the audio and discover the answers for these 2 questions, the destination and the time. Let's listen.
Your attention, please. The delayed 4:15 train from Washington.
I'd like a one-way ticket to Baltimore, please.
When would you like to leave?
Around noon.
There are 2 trains departing at that time. The Northeast Express leaves at 12 o'clock and arrives in Baltimore at 12:28. The Northeast Regional leaves at 12:02 and arrives at 12:43.
I see. So the express takes 28 minutes and the regional train takes 41 minutes?
That's right.
And what's the fare?
The Northeast Express is $55 for business class and $70 for first class. The Northeast Regional is $27 for coach or $39 for business class.
I'd like a business class ticket for the Northeast Regional, please.
All right. So, if you paid attention, if you notice, the destination is Baltimore. The first thing she says is, I'd like a ticket to Baltimore, please. All right. And the time. Did you identify the time? She says around noon. If you remember, noon is the same as 12 p.m. Remember, the middle of the day is noon. That's why we say afternoon. 2 o'clock, afternoon. All the p.m. times are afternoon, after the middle of the day. All right. Now, around noon, around 12 p.m. If you need to listen, if you need to practice, you can go back. But we are going to listen to the audio one more time. Let's use the audio to complete the information on this chart. Here I have the Northeast Express and the Northeast Regional, the 2 options for the woman. Now, pay attention to the time it departs, the time it arrives, the total duration, and the prices for the first class, the business class, and the coach. Now, in some cases, there are some classes that are not available. So listen again, pay a lot of attention, try to complete all the information.
Your attention, please. The delayed 4:15 train from Washington.
I'd like a
serves-
one-way ticket to Baltimore, please.
When would you like to leave?
Around noon.
There are 2 trains departing at that time. The Northeast Express leaves at 12 o'clock and arrives in Baltimore at 12:28. The Northeast Regional leaves at 12:02 and arrives at 12:43.
I see. So the express takes 28 minutes and the regional train takes 41 minutes?
That's right.
And what's the fare?
The Northeast Express is $55 for business class and $70 for first class. The Northeast Regional is $27 for coach or $39 for business class.
I'd like a business class ticket for the Northeast Regional, please.
All right. Did you catch all the information? If you need one more reproduction, let's listen again, and then we share the answers.
Your attention, please. The delayed 4:15 train from Washington.
I'd like a
serves-
one-way ticket to Baltimore, please.
When would you like to leave?
Around noon.
There are 2 trains departing at that time. The Northeast Express leaves at 12 o'clock and arrives in Baltimore at 12:28. The Northeast Regional leaves at 12:02 and arrives at 12:43.
I see. So the express takes 28 minutes and the regional train takes 41 minutes?
That's right.
And what's the fare?
The Northeast Express is $55 for business class and $70 for first class. The Northeast Regional is $27 for coach or $39 for business class.
I'd like a business class ticket for the Northeast Regional, please.
All right. So let's complete the information in this chart. Let's talk about the Northeast Express. It departs at 12 o'clock, exactly noon. It arrives at 12:28. Sorry, 12:28. So the total duration is 28 minutes. All right. Now, when they mentioned the business class fare, it was $55. And the first class fare, is $70. All right. Let's complete the information about the Northeast Regional. In this case, it departs at 12:02 and it arrives at 12:43. So in total, it takes 41 minutes. There is no first class available. The coach fare is $27 and the business class fare is $39. Right. Remember that you can go back in the video, listen again to the audio, and confirm that this is all the information. Remember, if you have any doubts or questions, let me know in the comments. But now, it's time for the final practice of the day. Now remember that the goal for this class is to buy a train ticket. And for that, here I have some examples. I have different destinations: Baltimore, New York, and Boston. Here I have the departure time, the track where each train is departing from, the arrival time, and the fares for one-way and round trip. In each of the options, one-way or round trip, we have 2 classes, couch or business. So make your questions and decide on a trip. For example, if I want to ask about Baltimore, I can ask about the time. The first question would be something like, at what time does the train to Baltimore leave? That can be my first question to discover the time. At what time does the train to Baltimore leave? If I want to discover the track, what track does the train to Baltimore leave from? To discover or to ask about the arrival time. What time does the train arrive in Baltimore? Because remember that this is my destination. So I can say the train to Baltimore But if we talk about arriving in Baltimore. Now, we can ask about the total duration, the time. In that case, my question, how long does it take to arrive in Baltimore? And finally, we want to ask a question about a price. How much is, and in this case, my choice is going to be a one-way business ticket. How much is the one-way, business class ticket? How much is the one-way business class ticket? And in that case, I can ask about the time, the track, the arrival time, the total duration, and the specific price for the ticket that I want. Try to practice making all the questions for the destination that you choose. Write them in the comments or let me know if you have any doubts. Thank you as always for being here in my class. Remember that the important part of English is to practice. Remember that here you will always find material to study and practice your English. Thank you for your like, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for sharing this video with another person that might need it. I'm Teacher Eddy and I will see you next class. Bye-bye.